Hi there, I'm Stacey and I deliver the Mindful Craft sessions for the quad in Derby. I just wanted to come on today to show you what we were doing in our session this month. So every year for Christmas, in our November session, we make mindful advent calendars. So these are just like traditional advent calendars in the sense that they count down to Christmas throughout December. But instead of a little chocolate treat inside each one, so under each number, we have a mindful note. So this could be a little reminder to do something that you know boosts your well-being, for example, going for a walk or talking to a friend. Or it could be a really happy memory that makes you smile or something that makes you laugh. So it's just a little something to help make the run up to Christmas a little bit more manageable, because it can be a stressful time for a lot of us. So this year we've made little pocket booklets, and inside each page is our countdown to Christmas. So each page has a number. So this is one that I've started, but what I'm going to do is just break down the steps for you. So if you do want to have a go at making one at home, you can do, and let us know how you get on. So I'm just going to switch these cameras so you can see a close up of my hands. Okay, so hopefully now you can see the screen of my hands. So you want to start off with a square piece of paper. So for example, you have a A3 piece of paper, you can use that and fold along one of the edges to give yourself a square. So you would then just cut this bit off, so you'll be left with a square like this. So if you do use an A3 piece of paper, you will end up with a square the same size as mine here. If you use a smaller piece, that's totally fine. You could do the same with a piece of A4, and you'll just need to think about your measurements to adjust for the size. So you need to draw a grid similar to one that I have here. And so how you do that is, first of all, on the bottom, you measure 5 centimetres, if your page is the same size as mine, in from one edge, and 5 from the other edge. You'll do the same across the top, so 5 centimetres in, 5 centimetres from this side, and then you would measure between one point and the other and mark halfway. So the halfway point between those first two, so 9.75, that's the same size as mine, and then the same 9.75 along the top. So those 6 points there will enable you to draw your first 3 lines. So just joining up the 2 points to create your lines across the page. You're now going to do the same kind of thing along the edge. This time you want your square to be a little bit deeper. So if your paper is the same size as mine, we've got 7.5 centimetres from the top and 7.5 centimetres from the bottom. The same on this side. And then again, you find the middle point. So for me, that was 7.25. Mark that each side. And then you draw your 3 horizontal lines across the page. So if you were using a smaller piece of paper, all you need to do is kind of adjust your numbers slightly. So you need the same size on either edge, and then you mark the halfway point. The same size from the top and the bottom, bigger than the amount that you just did across the bottom. So say, for example, you did 3 centimetres and 3 centimetres, you might then do 5.5 and 5.5. And then you find your middle point for that third line. Hopefully that makes sense. Once you've done that, you just need to fold both ways across every line that you've drawn. So for example, you would fold across this line that way. Make sure it's a nice tight fold, and then fold back the other way. And it's just helping you to score across your lines. So you do that across every line, both horizontally and vertically. And then you should end up with, I'll just open up my one here to show you. It's a bit stuck. So you would then have a grid. Just ignore the hole punches for now. I'll explain that bit in a minute. Folded across each line. So you're going to now cut from the bottom right up to this point here. So you've got your narrow rectangles on the edge there, and your bigger ones in the middle, and you cut from the bottom all the way up to this top line here. So you see something like that. Once you've done that, you want to turn your paper so that one of your smaller edges here is facing you. So these are going to be your pockets. These and these will be your pockets. So with it facing you, you're then going to concertina fold in. So you would fold in like that and in like that. And fold this one over on itself. And then continue the concertina fold in until you have your closed booklet. So I'm just going to do that a couple more times. You've got your paper, you've got your pocket facing you. Your concertina fold in, fold over onto itself, and then continue to concertina fold in. Just do it one more time. It was a bit tricky in the session, especially with the videos. Hopefully it makes sense. Paper's facing you, the gap is here, your pocket's here. Concertina fold in, fold over, and then continue to fold in. So what these hole punches are for here is you're going to need to make 3 of these booklets to have the 24 numbers that you need for your advent calendar. So after you've made each one, you hole punch on the side there, and you need to hole punch on the side where the folds come together, so where it's closed. So not where you have your open ends, where all edges are closed. That's the side that you would hole punch on. You might need to, when you hole punch the bottom part, because of the pockets, is just do it in 2 sections, depending on how good your hole punch is. So you would hole punch there, so that when you have multiple booklets, what you will eventually do is put them all together and then just use some string or some twine to thread through these holes to create your booklet. Okay, so just get back to the one I started. You can see there how I've kind of used the string just to put it all together. Okay, so there's one last thing that you need to do on each booklet, just a little small job. So if you just unfold it again briefly, where you have your ends that are open, so the here and here at the top and here at the bottom, just using a little bit of sellotape, you just need to close those off. So just a tiny bit of tape on either end there and there, either end there and there. And then once it's all folded together, you will see in the middle that your center pages also kind of have a bit of a gap there. So just again, use a small bit of sellotape just to close those off. So then once it's all been taped, each of the pockets is closed, and that center bit there is just nice and neat as well. So you do that on each of them before you then bring them all together with some string, twine, ribbon, whatever you have, to bind them into one booklet. Okay, so when it comes to decorating, it's totally up to you really what you want to do. So on this one I've started, I used some paper and old Christmas cards just to decorate the front here. So obviously only one booklet would have a front, so you just choose which one before you bind them, choose which one you want to be your front cover. And then inside you start your number in. So I started to use some stamps here for my 1 and my 2 for my countdown, and then some Christmas card just to decorate these top parts here. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it's just a little cutout from an old Christmas card. Same for the little penguin. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you create your little note just on a plain piece of paper, fold it and add it into your pocket. And so you would work your way through decorating each one. So some ideas for how to decorate it. You may have some paper similar to what I'd put on there, just some Christmas paper. You can get it from like the Works and sometimes in Poundland. If you don't have anything like that, you could always dig out a roll of Christmas paper and use some of that. That can work well. Or if you've got any old Christmas cards, they're a really great option as well. So you could, for example, cut out elements of the card like the sleigh and reindeer, or this little sign or mittens here, and use those to decorate your booklet. So yeah, that's how you make your own pocket booklet advent calendar. So you can make one for yourself, or it could also be a nice thoughtful gift to send to someone else with little notes and reminders from you to them in each pocket. Thank you for listening, and if you do make one, it would be lovely to see what you do. Thanks very much. Have a good day.